Today on Coming Up with Manny, we have someone who has one of the best last names I've ever heard, Oscar Patrick Kush. All right, he's 29 years young, but man, he's done a lot of things that only some of us can dream of.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Lance Corporal Oscar Patrick Kush, 0341 Mortarman from Southside Chicago. This is my life.
This guy's fighting out representing the Compound MMA, one of our many great fight schools here tonight. Oscar Kush, ladies and gentlemen.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. So, I see you involved in so many different things, all right? But at first I want to start off, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Good. You know, can't complain. Just happy to be here. I appreciate you inviting me to come out here.
Yeah, no problem, man. So I want to go back a couple weeks. So I saw you guys protecting your neighborhood here in Chicago. Is that where you born and raised? Or?
Yeah. I grew up on the South Side.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up on the South Side, but I live pretty close. You know, not too far. So Irving Park, and. Yeah, you know, things have been pretty crazy, you know, but I'm just trying to keep the peace, you know, nothing, you know, just I have a family. We got a lot of families on our block, you know, things got pretty hectic there for a little bit, so, you know, I mean, luckily nothing too crazy happened, but, you know, just things got close to home. I'm a new father. My baby is 10 months old, so you know, everything's been pretty stressful.
Those protective instincts kicked in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the protective instincts on top of the, you know, the military trauma coming up, you know, and you know, I got that Marine in me, so it's like ready to fight always, you know, and
assessing the situation at all times.
Yeah. So, but I think I got to be a little more. I got to chill out a little bit more too, you know.
Hard, man. Right now.
But
when you have kids, it's hard.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, exactly, you got the trauma and then you got the fatherly instincts kicking in, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Luckily, I'm calmed down a little bit. I'm a little more chill, you know.
I liked what your neighborhood did, though. You guys kind of all came together and said, all right, protesting is okay, but if you're going to just mess up the neighborhood, don't even come near us because we're going to kick you guys out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have no problem with the protest. I totally understand. That is a big issue, and you know, it needs to be addressed. But I mean, as somebody who works, you know, does a lot with small businesses, and it breaks my heart. We've already dealt with so much with COVID going on, you know, and the shutdown, and nobody could have predicted that. And then, you know, then this happens, and it's just like the final nail in the coffin for some of these people, and to me it breaks my heart, you know. So yeah, it's nice for everybody to come together and kind of just keep it cool, you know.
How do the small businesses react? Because you said you work a lot with small businesses. How are they doing right now?
I mean, luckily, like the business I work with are still doing pretty good. You know, we've been able to adapt and overcome through all this, and you know, innovate and make things happen. You know, we got JiuJitsu. Yeah. So the Jiu-Jitsu school, JiuJitsu. Obviously, that one's been a struggle. You know, we can't socially distancing. We got laws in place and everything. But luckily, you know, we've been able to keep the core group of guys. We do, you know, outdoor activities. We're training outside right now, and so far the gym is still making it through, and that's the goal, right? And then with the plumbing, you know, people still need plumbing 24 hours, 7 days a week, no matter what's going on. So, you know, especially with more people being in the house, you know, there's a lot more issues. So we're still getting calls there. So we're doing okay, but, you know, you see a lot of these other businesses that weren't doing okay already before, and you know, and it's just it's sad to see. You know, I want to see people succeed. So.
Yeah, definitely. So you touched on the jiu-jitsu part. How did you get into jiu-jitsu? Was it like something from like school, or did the military help you kind of choose that path, like to go get into it, like to come? Or how did you get into it? Because I know you're really embedded now into like MMA, jiu-jitsu, and everything.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, that could be a whole episode. Basically, I started wrestling going into eighth grade, going into high school. I lived down the street from some really good wrestlers, the Frias family from Richards High School, and they were good influence on me. They encouraged me to wrestle, so I did that. My freshman year, I won like 25 matches as a freshman.
Wow.
My sophomore and junior year, though, I had a real tough time. I was on varsity and 15 years old, going against seniors and stuff, and I got my ass beat. But I got tough during that time, and my coach, Coach Schultz, Coach Gaylord, all these guys, they helped me, get better. My senior year, I was state qualifier. So in 4 years, I went from being never wrestled before to being a state qualifier, and so I did that. When I got in the Marines, I left for the Marines right after that, right after high school, and even when right when I got to SOI, right back to wrestling. I remember there was a gym there. There were some mats. We brought some guys from SOI. We just started wrestling. All throughout my military career, every time we did McMap, I was always the wrestler. Always I didn't scare nobody on the mats. So McMap helped with that. I did my 2 deployments with the Marines, 1-1, 81's platoon weapons company, and throughout that time, I came back. I knew I was going to be getting out. I had done my 2 deployments. I was getting ready to get out, so I got involved into mixed martial arts. We had like a 30-day leave block when I came back from Afghanistan, December, Christmas, New Year's. So of course I got all fat and nasty. I'm already a big guy. I was always a big guy, always. So I got back, and everyone's like, you can get your weight down. I'm like, all right, well, how do I do that? I'll wrestle. So I went to a gym, Oceanside, California, while I was in. So this would have been probably 3.5 years into the military. Went to a gym out there. I was like, I just want to wrestle. Compound MMA in Oceanside, California. I walked in there, and then that was it. And I've been involved in MMA and jiu-jitsu and pro MMA, amateur MMA for as long as I can remember now. Was that 2000? So that would have been the beginning of 2013. I walked into an MMA gym, and I never stopped with that. So I started training. I just wanted to wrestle. I had no intentions of fighting, anything like that. But I wanted to wrestle, get my weight down, do some warrior, some cool shit. So, I was there probably 3 weeks, and I started doing some Muay Thai, some other things. The coach there was getting in my ear, and he's like, oh, you could be real good, you could be real good. I started wrestling with Joey Beltran, who's one of the bare knuckle boxing champions right now. Sean Loeffler was in the UFC, who owned the gym. I was working with them. They were helping me a lot. So Loeffler was like, hey, you want to fight? And I'm like, when? And like March 16th, Austin 316 I'll never forget it. And this is like 2013, so this is a long time ago. Fights now are all streamed and everything. They're in casinos and everything. I fought Indian reservations, in the beginning. The place called a chicken coop. And so we went up there. There's clips on YouTube of it. It's a crazy atmosphere. Oh, no commission.
Exactly.
Yeah. No commission, nothing. I was still on active duty.
Did they know? Because
now, they knew a little bit, but they didn't know everything. I'll be honest. But I had to do what I had to do. That was just what I wanted to do. So, I went to work every day. I trained every day. I went to the field and everything. But when I got off work, I took my ass into the car, drove an hour down to Oceanside, trained, and drove all the way back. And everybody saw me do it. So if I was willing to do that, they were willing to support me. So.
And as long as you're not getting any Article 15s or anything like that.
Well, we can get to that part of the story here in a minute. So I had my fight. I had March 16th. I had my first fight. I fought guy Derek Frace from South San Diego. New guy. I think I would have been 21 at the time, 21 years old. He was in his 30s. I knocked him out in 12 seconds.
Wow.
My whole platoon came, and then obviously things got real exciting real quick. You know, so I just kept going, kept training, fought a couple more amateur fights. I won those throughout the summer, so this would have been, 2013, November, I made my pro debut, which was not the right decision, but it is what it is. I was a young man, and I you know,
you were ready.
I thought I was ready, so I did win my pro debut. I won 2 pro fights, and then I would go on to fight Leonard Smith. This would have been probably 5 months before I was getting out of the Marines. I was going to fight him for a title, regional title down there, and I lost. You know, I got knocked out.
Hey, but for a 21-year-old going for a title, it's not bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. It is what it is. I look back on it now. Leonard is a good friend of mine. I've been able to train with him. One thing I love about fighting is every opponent I've ever had, I'm generally pretty close with.
You get a certain bond when
it's a bond you can't really you can't like you said. So after that though, that was my first loss. I was like, all right, what am I going to do? I get out of the Marines, like I don't know what I'm going to do. I decided I was going to pick up, and I moved to Huntington Beach, California. That's where I trained at King's MMA with Rafael Cordero.
Wow, that's an amazing gym.
Yeah, so I was training there for a little bit while I was going to school at Golden West College. But I'll be honest with you, I was there off and on, not too much. I tried to go as much as I could, but school was kind of just getting in the way. I mean, maybe not getting in the way, but it was just
your focus was more on school.
Yeah, because I was getting paid because of the GI Bill. Yeah. So I had to make sure I was getting my grades, so it was kind of hard for me. I struggled with balance. But during that time, I was able to train with a lot of really good fighters. I had the opportunity to train with Eric Paulson as well over there in Fullerton at CSW. Josh Barnett, I was sparring partner for Josh Barnett, Fabricio Verdum.
You guys are about the same size, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Fabricio Verdum, Chick Congo. I even had the opportunity, Curtis Blades, one of my best friends I grew up with. So he came out there and trained with me for a little bit from time to time while he was still trying to figure out where he was going.
He's from Chicago, right?
Yeah, he's from Chicago. We wrestled, graduated 2009 together. He was the state champion, and I was not, but I was state qualifier.
You were there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I kept training. I moved around a lot. I didn't really compete at all at that time because of school and just everything going on. My last fight I had was local, Victory Fighting Championships. Got to fight on UFC Fight Pass.
Oh, nice.
It was really good. The one thing about me I'll say about my fighting career, I'll never claim to be the best fighter in the world, and that's totally fine. But I will say this, I put on a show, and people will show up. I sold over 300 tickets to that fight.
Wow.
So people like watching me fight. I enjoy it. I love it. I love all the fighters in the area. I'm pretty connected, so I try to be on top of things. Now my focus is more on jiu-jitsu. I did stop going to school. For me, college, I did a lot in college. I was able to learn a lot. I had a great GPA, 3.7, but I switched my major a lot because I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do.
You're kind of like me a bit. I'm kind of sticking with my major because I'm like, man. So I'm taking criminal justice. I got 1 year left.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at careers afterwards. I was like, I don't even know if I want to do these. But I was like, you know what? Let me just get my degree and then we'll figure it out afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so school, it's hard, and if you don't me personally, I just was taking these classes that I had to take from a major, but to me, I didn't really understand okay, I don't get why I have to take this. What is this going to help me?
It's not going to be a part of what your career is going to be.
Exactly. So I stopped going to school. I don't know if drop out is not the term, I don't think, because I didn't finish my classes. I just didn't re-sign, for another semester. And I just decided, okay, I'm going to focus on jiu-jitsu. And that's what I've been focused on since. I've been able to get my purple belt. I'm hoping to get my brown belt eventually under Pete the Greek. Letsos, the Carlson Gracie black belt. And I'm very proud of that lineage. Like I said, I've been able to train all over I cornered Curtis Blades in Croatia. Wow. I've been to the UFC PI. I've done all sorts of things in the community, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of it. I love it. Jiu-jitsu for me is more therapeutic than anything.
Ask that, do you think it's like, because you said you were doing it in the military and then you did it after. Do you think it helped that transition?
Oh, I would say 150% Jiu-jitsu has helped my transition. It's helped me be a better person. It's put things in perspective for me. I always encourage every veteran I know to get involved with it. I don't necessarily, I can't go to a therapist and talk to them.
Been there, done.
That's not really, it hasn't worked for me, you know, and that's okay. I'm able to recognize, I'm able to see that. I do different alternatives, right? Jiu-jitsu I consider a privilege for me to train, but also I need it. It helps me both physically, mentally. You know, you get that physical exhaustion. You know, there's nothing like the strength of being able to move another person who's the same size as you and is fighting against you. That's not the same as lifting weights. You know, lifting weights is great, but you know, you got another 300-pound guy coming at you, and you got to figure it out.
You get aches and pains in places you didn't know you can get aches and pains.
Very true. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's part of the whole conditioning aspect of it. I mean, I've seen these bodybuilders come in and I'll ball them up. Yep. And I don't look like anything special. They look at me and they think, who's this fat guy? Yep. But I'll ball them up on the ground, you know. It's an interesting sport. But to go off of that though, you know, it's like chess, right? You have to constantly think about what you're doing next. What's the move? How am I going to counter this? How is he going to react? There's just so many different things. And then the tribal aspect of it. I love all the guys on my team. I may not, you know, always be buddy-buddy with them. I might be hard on them, but I care and love about each and every one of them. I want our gym to succeed. I want us to grow. I want us to win tournaments. If they don't want to compete, I want them to be successful in what they want to be. And I think that aspect is taken from the military. It's taken from
family type of.
Yeah, it's taken from wrestling. For me, I've always had that kind of little tribal mentality. So I just getting back into that. I think veterans sometimes. I see they get away and, you know, they feel alone. And that's one way you could combat it, you know, and it also gets you back into that warrior mindset. It makes you feel like a badass again. That's important, you know. A lot of guys, they don't feel empowered.
The adrenaline
that
you need. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it helps. It may not be the complete answer, but I think it's definitely a answer. And it's what's worked for me. And that's all I can really say.
I never thought about it like that, because I would go and then I would do it, and I loved it. But you're right, it does become like a culture and like a family around how you live, how you see everybody. And yeah, I never thought of it. That would really help a lot of veterans. Yeah,
and I mean, there's a foundation called the Defy Foundation. Defy Foundation. They're particularly in the East Coast, but they do a lot of work with veterans, empowering them through jiu-jitsu. I would suggest looking into it. Anybody that's watching this, look into it if you're interested in jiu-jitsu. There's a lot there, you know.
Where's the gym that you're training out of at right now?
Rio Jiu-Jitsu Chicago. So we're right in Irving Park in Elston, right next to the Alps breakfast restaurant to the left.
Okay, cool.
So
we've got into your jiu-jitsu, your background and everything. How did you get into MVP? Because I obviously just heard you want to be able to help out veterans and bring them in their transition and everything, and that to a lot of veterans is hard. Because when we get out, we feel like nobody's there for us. Nobody wants to really help us. Even though there are avenues through like the VA and stuff like that, sometimes we feel like they don't understand. So what exactly is MVP?
So MVP is Merging Vets and Players. And basically what we do is, it goes back to what I just talked about, the tribe, right? Trying to bring people back to the tribe. Now, merging vets and players, so we see a correlation between transitioning athletes and transitioning pro athletes. I've seen it firsthand, you know, with fighters that have gotten in and gotten out. And the same thing with veterans, gotten in and gotten out. And sometimes these guys don't make the right decisions. They take the wrong pass, and, you know, they feel lonely, they get depressed. I've lost a lot of friends to suicide. Yeah. It fucking sucks. Yeah. And it breaks my fucking heart, right? And so MVP to me, you know, we're able to bring these guys together and work out and talk. And let me tell you how I got started with this. I basically, I was living in Huntington Beach. One of my buddies I served with was up in LA. He was in a housing for veterans. And that's when MVP started, right? He went into MVP, went into the program. He connected me with Denver Morris. He's the program coordinator or program manager, in Los Angeles. And so he connected me with him on Facebook. We became friends. He messaged me a little bit about the program, wanted me to come up, check it out. At first, I just was like, I don't know this guy. What does he want me to come to this for? I don't have time for this. I don't know anything about this, whatever. At that time, I wasn't really going through much. So I didn't really understand, I didn't really get it. I was kind of just going to school. I got out, I just kept going, Didn't really have a chance to chill out. So I went up there though, eventually. He hit me up probably like 4 or 5 times, and then finally I'm all right, I'm gonna go check it out. I went up there, basically what happens, you go in, the MVP, when we have it in person, the first hour is a workout. And it kind of goes back to the same thing I was talking about jiu-jitsu. We have a workout for an hour, martial arts style workout. We'll hit pads, we'll do all sorts of different things, lift some weights, get that physical exhaustion. And then the next hour, we bring the combat veterans and we bring the former pro athletes together, and it's just a talk, talk about whatever's on your mind, what you're going through. If we can help you with something, we want to help you with that. Be resourceful and just create that network, get people together, work out for an hour, come if you want to vent, you want to talk shit, whatever you want to do. If you need help with something, that's what we're there for.
So people like me, because I don't look it, but I'm 90% disabled. I had back surgery, I've herniated discs in my neck and stuff like that. How do you guys are you guys able to have disabled vets as well, or just people that can work out and kind of?
No, we can, and we have had them in the past. Let me see. We've had them in the past. Sorry, I'm trying to think how to put it. We have them from time to time. Right now, for example, the reason I'm stumbling on my words is because right now we're obviously affected by COVID as well. So we're on Zoom. So right now we're doing it via Zoom, which is good and bad. It's good because we're able to reach more people, because we have this opportunity to do it virtually and get more people on.
Get that personal.
But a lot of veterans, they want the personal, they want to be in touch. So for what I do, we'll do extracurricular events. We go out on Saturdays, do workouts at the Forest Preserve, different things, go golfing, do all these different things, and hopefully we'll do more.
Maybe you ever want to have an event here? Let us know, man.
No, that would be great. I would love to do that, and we'll talk more about that for sure. I would say, anybody who's a disabled veteran, please feel free to reach out to me. I can talk to you, and we'll figure out how we can get you involved. If you can't do the workout piece, that's okay, but we'll figure it out. And if I don't have the answer, I can get the answer.
Sounds good, man.
So that's where I'm at.
So how are you liking it so far, though? Because you just got that position right now, right during COVID.
So actually, yeah. So I just stepped up into this position recently, last 2 weeks ago. So I'm still getting my feet wet. That's why I'm a little unversed. So I apologize for that. But I have high hopes, high goals. I was able to be a part of the program out there in Los Angeles. I went to Vegas, saw the program there. Very successful. Been able to do a lot of really cool things. This program is incredible. We've been able to send guys to go golfing with Kyle Schwarber in Florida. We've been able to send people to numerous sporting events throughout the city. The other chapters do the same. And it's been connecting everybody, having these events. It's just something that's really great. Now, stepping up, being able to lead, it means a lot to me, because when I moved back to Chicago 2 years ago, I wasn't where I am now. Now I sit before you, I'm a pretty successful guy. I think, I do a lot. I work hard. I work my ass off. 2 years ago, maybe that wasn't the case. 2 years ago, I had a little bit of a mental breakdown, mental lapse. Things got hard for me. that was when I understood, like, oh, the transition sucks, you know, because
because some people, it doesn't hit them right away when they get out.
And it didn't hit me right away, and maybe it did, and I didn't see the signs, you know, but
trust me, I understand completely.
So it's like one day I woke up and I was just like, what the fuck, you know? So I packed up my shit. I moved back to Chicago. I quit my job. I moved back, no job, nothing. Just start over completely. I've done that I don't know how many times now.
Sometimes you have to, though. To find that inner peace within.
I mean, I say this, and people will listen to this, they probably have no idea this even happened, because I never really have ever talked about this.
Really?
Never really opened up about this. I moved back. I moved into my mom's basement. That didn't help anything. I love my mom to death, but for mentally, it did not help me.
But having that family around you sometimes is a lot better than being alone.
Yes, I agree with that. But I'm a proud man, and I at that time I felt very unaccomplished, you know, and very depressed. And I think that almost got in the way of me and my mother's relationship there for a little bit. But I got my shit together. I was able to do that both through my community. I got back to my roots, right? That's what I did. So I got back in August. MVP opened up. I helped open it up. Bobby Weiss, the program coordinator at the time, I get to help him. We've done a fantastic job through that point, but they were able to help me. You know, the family, I've been able to get through that program. Were able to help me. I mean, I've gone through a lot of change in these 2 years. You know, I went from, I didn't have a place to live. You know, I was living with my mom, but like, I didn't have like a house, you know, anything for my own. My car got repossessed. Shit got fucking hard. I didn't have a job. I couldn't find a job. Everything I was looking for really fell through. And then I just remember my friend telling me, you know, you got to get back to your roots. Get back in the vet community. Get back in the wrestling community, mixed martial arts community. So that's what I did. I got back. I connected with some guys I wrestled with. That's how I got involved with the plumbing. They helped me out. They've been able to empower me a ton. And then I was involved with Beat the Street Chicago, which is another nonprofit wrestling program. I've been able to be a part of that and inspired by that to be able to take what I've learned from seeing what that program's done and utilize it with merging vets and players. Obviously, I had a daughter, you know, through all this. She's 10 months old, and my father was killed when I was 4 months old. So being a father for me is the number one thing in the world.
Because you want to be there. It's like you don't want to miss a minute of it.
I don't. Because I know what it's like to not have my father, and it's fucking hard. It's always been. So for me, being a dad is the most important thing in the world, and I've turned my life around completely through that. I'm just so fucking proud of it, and I couldn't have done it without my communities, the wrestling community, the jiu-jitsu community, all the things we talked about, MVP, and now I've been given a lot of opportunities, and now it's my opportunity to give other people opportunities and change people the way I was changed, and that's my goal. So yeah, check us out, MVP. Be on the lookout. I'm gonna be at all these events, getting everybody's ass, telling them to come on, because all I want to do is help and be there for people. I don't want to lose anyone else to fucking suicide. Yeah. Knowing that this is what I got to do, this is what I got to do, and that's what I'm gonna fucking do.
Yeah, within the past 2 years, I've lost one a year, one friend a year, and man, it's hard. And I respect you not only as a fellow vet, but as a man, because sometimes, like me, myself, like I don't want anybody's help when I like get to those low levels. Like I feel like, nope, I gotta do this, I just gotta grit my teeth and do it. But I know what you've been doing, and I'm honestly in awe because I didn't see it the way that you saw. Like I'm like, okay, I just gotta do it myself, and knowing that there's vets like you out there that kind of reach their hand out, be like, look, man, everybody needs help. I needed one. Here's yours. That to me like touches me a lot, because man, sometimes it's really hard, and like a lot of people don't understand it. That you're fighting yourself like 24/7, like you're telling yourself, what the fuck, man? I was so, like in the Army, I became sergeant in like 3 years. And then when I got out, I'm like nothing, and I'm like, I'm 30 years old and I'm barely gonna get my bachelor's degree. What the fuck, man? And I've gone through like divorces and everything like that. It was like every time I'm like, okay, I just gotta get through it. I gotta get through it. But nobody sees that inner fight in you, but you're dying inside, man. But thank you, man, because I'm sure a lot of veterans are gonna appreciate what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it, and I mean that mindset. I totally get it, though. I mean, I've been in that mindset. I still am in that mindset on certain things. You know, I mean, I think that's it's typical outlook for a lot of veterans. They want to do things on their own. It's a chip on their shoulder. I've always had a chip on my shoulder. I probably still have a chip on. You can see me slouching because I got a chip on myself. You know, so I mean, I totally understand that. For a long time, I didn't think it was okay to reach out and that stuff, and sometimes I still feel weird about it. But
I feel MVP is, like, the way you explain is different, because it's not like you have to make an appointment with the VA to go to talk to them. This is more like of a open, like just a type of like, hey man, you need a friend, we're here.
I tell people this all the time, whether it's coming to jiu-jitsu, coming to MVP, coming to anything with me. All you gotta do is show up. The hardest part for fucking anything is getting people to show up. If you can step foot in the door, that's all you gotta do. I'll take care of the rest. You know, but a lot of people don't want to, and that's hard. And I've been there, and I know what it's like to not want to step in the door. Right? I said I didn't go 4 or 5 times when he asked me. Right? But once I finally stepped in the door, and I actually understood, you know, you make up. I think my mind plays tricks on me, as it does a lot of veterans, and you make up these different scenarios in your head going in, and that fuels your anxiety, and it fuels all sorts of things, and that's why you don't go. You know, that's why I didn't go. Yeah. But I did. It wasn't what I thought it was, and you know, curiosity. You know, it's important. It fuels innovation, right? So I like to grow.
You seem very enlightened.
I mean, I try to listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no, I probably talk like him. I don't know. I try, man, but I just I don't know. I ain't got life figured out by any means, but
at least we're trying, right?
Yeah, I never looked at like, I'm a Marine, you know, so big leader. I like to lead. But I've never looked at like leading from the front or lead from the back. I like lead side by side. So you come with me, we would go side by side through this, we'll figure this out together. And that's what I'm trying to do with MVP. That's what I'm trying to do with my jiu-jitsu school. I'm not always the nicest person in the world, and I can be quite an asshole too. But I mean, a lot of people probably watched The Last Dance. Michael Jordan was quite an asshole too, but he was very successful, and the people that were with him were very successful. And I want everyone that's with me to be successful, because if they're successful, then I'm successful.
Where is MVP located, and how can people get in contact?
So Emerging Investment Players, when we do have session, is located in PAL Fit. That is by UIC. On Racine. I can get you the info after this, and you could caption it across right there. Put that right there in a caption. Yeah, sorry.
It's all good, man.
Racine. Right now, we're doing everything virtually through Zoom. So if you want to get involved, I suggest you go to the website, vetsandplayers.org. You can get all your information there. You can become a member there. That'll walk you through everything. It'll show you your location. If you're from not from Chicago, that's okay. We're nationwide, so we have a chapter for everybody. Right now we have chapters in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Chicago, New York, and Atlanta. And we're hoping to expand to more cities. But the good thing about being on Zoom is that we're able to hit other cities and, you know, and plant that seed in hopes that we can get a chapter there.
Yeah, we got to talk about this, because I know somebody that's actually plays for the Philadelphia Union. So maybe we can. Yeah,
that would be fantastic. I'd love to connect with them, and any vets, you know, any athletes, anybody that might have interest in this program, please come out. I want to be a resource for you. I want to help you, and yeah, and you know. I want to help these people. It helps me, you know. It helps me. you know, it's therapeutic for me too. So it's, you know, by me helping other people, it helps me. You know, I'm real big on serving. You know, I grew up in the church, learning serving the community and all that. I'm not gonna get all religious or anything like that, but the morals and the ethics that I learned from there and been able to, you know, utilize throughout my life. I'm very big on serving the community. That's another thing I really want to do with this program, and just give back, because like I said, I've been afforded a lot of opportunities, and I'm grateful for them. And I wouldn't have done any of the things I've done in my life if I didn't have people helping me. So now I get to do that for other people. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Same here, man. Second, I've had third, fourth, fifth opportunities, and I'm just blessed, but not everybody gets it. But thank you for trying to help out, man. I appreciate that a lot.
I appreciate you.
All right, man. How can people find you on social media? What do you have? Twitter?
Yeah, I got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. What other ones are there?
What are the apps, though?
It's all the same thing. Ogre Patrick Kush. Yeah, you can find me anywhere on the internet with that one. You type that in, so you could put that one across the screen. I'll give it to you. And yeah, reach out to me. I'm open to talk about whatever. That's cool. Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it, and thank you for coming on, man.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Like, is there anything you want to promote besides MVPs, your gym, anything else?
Yeah, at JiuJitsu Chicago, if you guys want to come train, vets especially, please let me know. I'd love to get you on the mats. If you want to check out MVP, check out MVP. If you need a plumber, call me. I can do plumbing too.
What's the name of your company?
J Bland Plumbing. We're a North Side company. We serve McHenry County, the city, you know, so hit me up. I'll hook you up there, whatever we need to do. Yeah, I'm here, so thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, no problem. Thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview with Oscar Patrick Kush, and I love his last name. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Click like, subscribe, comment down below, let us know what you think. Oh, and punch that bell, because Kyle wants me to punch that bell.